Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday morning Anything Goes stream. Um, we've got some great news, some really, really great news. We are playing Persona 4 Golden. This game has just come out on Steam, actually, and yeah, it's a bit of a masterpiece, really. I love this game. I think the world of it. I can't speak highly enough of it. I think it is a great work of art, and I'm really, really excited to be able to actually play this and talk about it and stream it. This is the first time I've given a proper PC game, a PC game, a proper go as a stream. So I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work as well as I would have liked. I hope it does. I really, really do hope that you get to watch as we play along and we get a chance to talk about this game because I think it's brilliant. And yeah, so there'll be black borders around the screen. The only way I could get it to work right now is to play it at 800 by 600 resolution. So apologies in advance for that. I will try and get it better if we continue to play it on next week, which I would imagine so. I will try and get that to work properly next time. But anyway, let's talk about Persona 4. I'll give people a moment or two to jump on before we get going. In the meantime, you can enjoy this very lovely opening sequence. And yeah, once everybody's on, we'll get going with the game. We won't get too far. This is a very long game. It's about 60, 70 hours to play through each time. I've played it through quite a few times over the years. But we'll get into the start of it anyway, and that's the good bit. Okay, so I'll just put out a note on Twitter to let people know that it is now live, and hopefully they can jump on and chat with me. Okay, so that's frustrating. I can't tab over to another screen while I stream this. I'll have to stick to just what's on the Persona the game screen itself. Otherwise, it'll pause for you as well. I apologize for that. I didn't know that would happen. I won't skip off the screen again. I'll just leave the stream on and hopefully people join in. Okay, so if we are to get going with this. So we've got this, there'll be a pretty neat little introductory cutscene, which will seem very mysterious at first because it's introducing the blue room, the velvet room. That's key to the game's thematic appeal, I guess, or the game's themes. But at the first, it won't make too much sense, other than as a name entry thing and a bit of an introduction. It's very portentous, let's put it that way. Yes, I was so happy to see. I mean, I saw that it was rumoured. Hi, Patty, by the way. I saw that it was rumoured earlier in the week, and I was very excited for the potential for it to happen, and it has happened. So I'm very excited to actually play this. I haven't played it since I kind of gave the PS4, PlayStation Vita, sorry, a rest. I've still got the console, of course. It's a great console, but because it's legacy, the realities of doing game reviews and stuff mean that I've had to put it away, I guess. So I haven't had a chance to play Persona 4 Golden again, and I'm very excited to give it a whirl. Let's play on normal difficulty, just because that prevents any grind. Well, not no grind, but it's a good balanced difficulty to play while you're streaming along. How have you been, Patty? It was good to see you on the stream yesterday as well, so happy to see you here as well. Once you get to know a couple of the people who are on the YouTube, you wonder where they go if they disappear. You worry about them. So here we go. The Velvet Room is a common theme to all Persona games. This time around, it's a rather deluxe limo it takes a different form each time. Lots of people play Persona 5 now, and you'd know that in Persona 5, the Velvet Room is a prison. It usually reflects the game's themes in some particular way. I won't give that away right now, but yeah, the Velvet Room is it's always an intriguing thing. I'm a big fan of the way that the Persona series uses the Velvet Room to frame certain narrative conversations that it has going on.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. Ah, it seems we have a guest with an intriguing destiny. My name is...
So I haven't actually played this in any way before starting the stream. I literally only downloaded it before starting the stream. I had some technical issues with getting the stream going. I have absolutely no idea what to look forward to with this. For all I know, it'll crash within the first 10 minutes of play. I hope it doesn't, of course, but who knows. Hello, Nuke Gaming, thank you, and I have to do a call out on the stream to you because you are the reason I was able to get this stream working, so thank you again for your help with that. Really appreciate it.
This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter.
This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. See, it's all very dense. Persona 4 is an incredibly dense game. I've written about a couple of its themes in the past, not as much as I probably would have liked to, but this game is just loaded with density. I like my games to have some kind of philosophy to latch into as I play. I like to think as I'm playing about these things. This is one of those games that really does it. You know, a game like Final Fantasy might have a couple of key themes that it addresses through it. Persona 4 has a lot. Persona 5 even was a step back. Persona 4 I think is one... It's right up there with NieR and NieR Automata as a game that's just dense, and it's a lot of fun to play, of course, but there's also a lot to really think about if you want to engage with it on that level. I'm very good at home, thank you, Patty. It's been... I mean, I'm in Australia, so we managed to avoid the bulk of COVID. Hopefully we don't get a second wave of it coming through, but other than being isolated a bit, we didn't have the fear that some other countries have had. Fortunately for us, it's been pretty limited in terms of the impact and reach, so yeah, we've just done the right thing and stayed at home. It's given me an excuse to play around with streams. I only started these streams because I was that bored, to be honest, but I've had a lot of fun with them, so I'll continue doing them now. Obviously that COVID restrictions are lifting here, and yeah, we're in a pretty good place, and don't I know how lucky we are for that.
It may be that such a fate awaits you in the near future.
So have you both actually played Persona 4 before? Is this a new thing for you, or are you familiar with the game?
Now then.
What will we call ourselves? This is one of those games where I actually do name myself properly because I engage with it that deeply. So I'm just going to call myself Matt. Oh wait, last name. Whoops. How do I skip on? You're going to see a little mousey come through. Sorry about that. I wasn't sure which button would actually... Why is it not letting me end? Maybe I have to put first name in. There we go. Still working through the interface, trying to work out how to use it with a controller. I have a PlayStation controller, which is nice. It feels right because Persona 4 is obviously a PlayStation game, but yeah, it wasn't... Still learning the buttons, how it works with this interface. We've had to adjust it, obviously, for PC. Okay, well, you're in for a great time. If you've not played Persona 4 or 5, then I'm glad you get a chance to watch me play this because, yeah, hopefully you'll get a sense of the magic of the game. It's a little bit hard in such a short time because it's like I said earlier, it's a 60-hour RPG, so, you know, from the first hour or so, it's hard to get a sense of the full game, but hopefully you get an idea of what it's about. There we go. Threw my name in.
Nice. Now, Do you believe in
Do you believe in
fortune
fortune telling? No. Bit of determinism here, you know.
is done with the same
Future set in the
cards,
stars.
yet the result is always
Hi Britta,
different.
welcome to the stream. I actually thought you had finished this for some reason. I don't know, I'm sure we've had chats about Persona 4 in the past, and I always assumed that you had. So I apologise if I've done any spoilers. Oh, okay, cool, the PS2 version. Yeah, so Golden has got a number of enhancements and improvements which make it kind of the ultimate edition, so yes, you might notice some different things about this as we play along.
Life itself follows. The tower in the card indicating the future.
So we're just running through the tarot game. Once again, determinism, the idea that your fate is kind of predetermined, or it's set, and you're kind of following along with what's been given you. This game does challenge determinism a bit, but I won't give that away just yet.
It seems you will encounter a.
Anyway, the card readings are not good, is the point. They're suggesting catastrophe and things going wrong, very wrong.
In your destiny. My duty is to provide assistance to our guests. I have neglected to. This is Margaret. She is a resident of this.
My name is Margaret.
We shall attend. Until then.
Okay, so that's the little introduction done, just to set us up, and
I'm tired of diets. Enough with going to the gym. Good thing there's something even I can handle.
Slim down this summer with the refreshing taste of calorie magic.
that's got to be one of my favourite opening cutscenes in a game ever. We will find out plenty about her down the track. I promise you, I'll be talking about her a great deal. She's basically one of my favourite characters in all video gaming ever. She's up there with Hatsune Miku herself. So, if you don't know who she is, you will soon enough.
What do you think?
But on a more... Yeah, I agree, and I think that's one of the reasons that I do like Persona 4 more than even Persona 5. Not that I think Persona 5 is a bad game by any means, and I do enjoy Persona 3, of course, as well, and the first two, which are a little bit different tonally. 3, 4, and 5 share similarities, but the reason that I like Persona 4 the most is it is a little bit more subtle, and it is a little bit more nuanced in the way that it deals with things, and it allows a little bit more for interpretation. So I do prefer Persona 4 as my favourite in this series, and I've already been raving about it enough over the last 15 minutes, but this is a game that really means a lot to me. Yes, yes, I do love Hatsune Miku, but yeah, this character is amazing. Another thing I wanted to mention is I get very homesick for Japan every time I play a Persona game. They give me a different, I guess, take on Japan, and this kind of rural countryside, it's not really countryside, more small town Japan that you'll see depicted through this game. It actually feels very much like the local area I kind of live in when I stay in Japan. It has a shopping street, the actual place that I stay, it has a shopping street that's kind of dying. It has that kind of... It's not quite as green because it's still in Tokyo area, but it has a kind of low-built environment. It doesn't have big skyscrapers everywhere, and yeah, it just feels very familiar. So every time I put Persona 4 on, it feels very familiar. It's very... this game is obviously created by Japanese people, but they've really got to the core of, I guess, the Japanese experience.
Hey, over here.
I'm liking the visual style. I can only see it at 800 by 600 on this screen. but it seems a little bit crisper than I remember it being on the PlayStation Vita. I could imagine that if I was playing it on full screen, it'll look nice and clean.
Well, you're more handsome in person than in your photo. Welcome to Inaba. I'm Ryotaro Dojima. I'll be looking after you. Let's see, I'm
Daddy
your
Dojima?
mother's younger brother, and that about sums it up. I'll say, you've really grown. I still remember where... This here's my daughter. Come on, Nanako. Introduce yourself to your
Hello.
What are you so shy for? Ow! Well then, let's get going. My car's over there.
Hey. You dropped this. Whatever. All I did was pick it up.
What's wrong?
Okay, so this is just really setting up the characters and stuff, or the setting. You play as a person who's had to come and live with his uncle, because for reasons, basically, they're not that important. I can't remember, to be honest, exactly what they are. I think just the parents are working somewhere off-site or something. But yeah, you have to go and spend a year living with your uncle in this kind of backwater small town. And yeah, it's a big change, a big shift. Obviously, it means you'll be going to a different school, meeting new people, and that's that. Persona 5 starts in much the same way. You get yourself in trouble, but you have to go and stay with somebody who's unfamiliar, and I guess it's about, you know, finding your place in a new location. A lot of other JRPGs start with the character being asleep or something, or amnesiac. This seems to be the way that Persona starts.
Hi. Welcome to Mole.
Can you go to the bathroom by yourself?
Uh-huh.
It's in the back, to your left. You know which way's left? The side you don't hold your chopsticks in.
So one of the things that I absolutely love about Persona 4 is the soundtrack. They always have great music soundtracks. Persona 5 is the same. It has a really good soundtrack. But Persona 4's soundtrack is particularly good, I think. You'll hear bits of it, no doubt, through the stream. Hopefully it doesn't get me a copyright strike on YouTube. But yeah, the music in Persona 4 is just absolutely incredible. And it's the reason that I kind of prefer Persona 4 Dancing All Night to the other two Persona Dancings. They're all the same game, effectively. But Persona 4 Dancing All Night has the Persona 4 soundtrack, which is amazing. I've got the CD soundtracks, a couple of different CD soundtracks for Persona 4 as well. I just love this music. I can listen to it all day long. Yes, that is one of the odd things, one of those kind of cultural quirks. I remember when I was very young in Australia, you had people that came out to help fill your car with gas, but that's
I know.
definitely gone here as well. But it is still a thing in Japan.
Are you taking a trip?
And I totally agree, both Dojima and Sojiro are great father characters. For, I guess, obviously they're not your character's father, but they do a great surrogate job.
No, we just went to pick him up. He just moved here from the big city.
I guess they kind of represent an idea for Japanese parenting that is perhaps an ideal that is still not that common in Japan. In Japan, the father figure is still meant to be the one that does the work and earns the cash for the family, and tends to be kind of the patriarch of the household. That's kind of the social expectation, but with Persona games, Persona 4 and Persona 5, they evolved to this kind of more, they're still kind of the gruff type character, but they have that softer side, and they have their own story as well to share, and you get to know them as characters, and it is a different, I guess it's presenting a different ideal for what parenting in Japan could look like. This game is certainly very aware of the cultural issues that are going through the country, and the discussions that happen, and the various types of people that are affected by Japanese culture, and it doesn't hold back in addressing those topics.
A city, huh?
Good choice, yes. Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne is certainly another one that has an incredible soundtrack.
Right away, sir.
Good time as any for a smoke.
Are you in high school?
Funny side story, way back when I was just starting to do game criticism, one of the first gigs I got was contributing to the official PlayStation 2 magazine here in Australia at the time. And one of the first games I actually got to review was Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, and it's called Lucifer's Call here in Australia. And my quote ended up on the back of the box. It's the first time that a review of mine was actually quoted by a publisher, and I think it might still be the one time that I've actually had a quote go on the back of the box. That was a moment that I felt quite chuffed about back when I was a very young critic.
Does it surprise
Back
a
in those
city
days, you
boy
had to
see
write
how
for a
little there
magazine,
is
and you
out
had to
here?
somehow make a review for a game as lengthy as Shin Megami Tensei work in 300 to 400 words. That was an interesting challenge. Doesn't happen these days. I can write thousands of words on any game I like.
There's so little to do. I'm sure you'll get bored fast. Speaking of which, we're actually... Give it some thought, why don't you? Oh.
Are you okay? Did you get car sick? You don't look too good.
What's wrong? You okay? That's understandable. It must have been a long trip for you. Why not take a little walk? Get some fresh air. Just let me know when you're ready to go.
It really was, yeah. It certainly, especially when it was my first JRPG review, I guess, a genre that I've always liked. It really did feel good to have that vote of confidence, even if it was ultimately used for marketing purposes, and that's not the point of reviews. It felt nice to be noticed, let's put it that way. Okay, so we're feeling a bit lightheaded. There is a reason for that, which comes into play much later on. Don't want to give anything away, of course. So we've been told to go for a walk along the shopping street. This is the shopping street that I was referring to. That it feels very familiar to my local area when I stay in Japan. That's the unfriendly girl that we just met literally moments ago, and she's already forgotten who we are. Okay, fine. Bookstores in Japan are one of my favorite things too. They tend to be huge. So the bookstore in my local area alone is 3 stories tall, and it has magazines which take up the entire lower floor. Then there's manga on the top floor, and in the middle there's books. And yeah, it's always busy. Books in Japan are not too expensive. They're only a couple of hundred yen as opposed to $30 or whatever they are here these days. And yeah, it's still very much a reading culture, so the smell of the bookstores is great too. In Australia, the biggest bookstore we have, it's a big single floor one, but it is only a single floor bookstore, so yeah. And that's just the local one. You go into one of the major cities, like Shinjuku or whatever, the bookstores can be seven stories in tall. Book Off, yes, Book Off is great. So Junes, which is being mentioned there, that's a big shopping mall which we'll see plenty of down the track, and that is one of the tensions, the social tensions that I was mentioning in Japan. Like most places, I guess, in the world, big shopping malls are coming in and displacing the local community shopping streets. But in Japan, the community shopping streets was a real focal point for the community. People would come together, they'd hold festivals in there. You get to know basically everybody in town via those things, and they were really critical to the lifeblood and the social cohesion of each place. So to have these big shopping malls come in and really disrupt that has been something that over the last 2 decades, and remember this game is about 15 years old, over the last couple of decades has really been a disruptive force in the country. And you would probably have to say not for the better. So Junes is definitely not presented as a thing that is an inherent good for the people, let's put it that way. You decide not to enter. That's our weapon store, we'll see. That's where we get our weapons from. Then we've got here. Now, anybody who has played Persona 4 will know just how much I love this tofu shop. There are reasons. We'll see soon enough. Convenience store, as you can see, shut down. We can't walk down to the other half of the shopping street just yet. My controller's not doing a good job of getting me around. Maybe I'll use the D-pad instead. Okay, so with that, let's go to home. And now we're at the place which we'll be living for the next year if in game time. Very traditional modern Japanese house. And they're eating sushi.
So your mom and dad are busy as always.
Lucky them.
They're working overseas, was it?
Unfortunately, I can't eat sushi. Seafood allergy. But every time I look at it, it looks so good.
I know it's only for a year, but getting stuck in a place like this because of your parents? Well, it's just me and Nanako here, so it'll be nice having someone like you around. So long as you're here, you're part of the family. So make yourself at right. Are you into military stuff?
That's an odd question just to throw out there. Can you say no? No.
Well, let's see.
Oh.
Who's calling? Dojima speaking. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Nice. Uh-huh. All right, I'm on my way. Looks like I made the right choice to skip the boot. Sorry, but I gotta go take care of some business. I don't know how late I'll be. Nanako.
Okay.
So Dojima is a detective. I don't know if they mentioned that beforehand.
Nanako, it's raining out. What did you do with the laundry?
He's also a bit of a workaholic, and that's having an impact on his relationship with his daughter, as we'll see down the track, of course. But you already get a sense from it, of it just from here.
All right.
And
Well,
basically
I'm off.
that little girl is responsible for looking after the household effectively, and she is wise beyond her years. But a little bit lonely.
For this week. Next, let's take a look at the hourly breakdown. With storm clouds moving in from the west, expect rain.
Let's eat.
Oh, see, we haven't been told yet what he does, so let's get that one out of the way.
He investigates stuff. My dad's a detective.
And now for the local news. City Council Secretary Taro Namatame is under fire for an alleged relationship with a female reporter. His wife, Enka ballad sensation Misuzu Haragi, revealed to this station that she will likely... In response, iTelevision has decided to cancel all of announcer Mayumi Yamano's television until allegations of an affair with Mr. Namatame are resolved.
This is boring.
At Junes, every day is Customer Appreciation Day. Come see for yourself. Every day's great at your Junes.
Every day's great at your Junes.
Yeah, I don't know why Nanako has this obsession with that song. she loves the little jingle for Junes, does Nanako?
Aren't you going to eat?
But yeah, that becomes a recurring motif. So Nanako's busy now to watching the TV. Doesn't want to talk to us, that's fine. Not really. Just had dinner, not hungry. Don't want to get greedy. This is all very typical of a Japanese household, really. It's a small living area, small kitchen, everything's nice and small, but very neat and organised. And we'll head upstairs. Pretty lucky guy, actually. He gets a whole room all to himself. There's a TV here. But we haven't got much else we can do other than just go to sleep right now. So straight into it. So the day after you get there, you've got to head off to school, which becomes a very obvious focal point for just about everything you do afterwards. But first, we're going to have a sleepy vision. All you can do is move forward. That's very, very philosophical thing to say. I guess this is a way of, I mean, it's got narrative. It's more narrative important, but it also gives you that introduction to the way that the dungeon crawling is going to work soon enough. This is the perspective that you play the game from. So as you can see, it's certainly not as vibrant as Persona 5. They've done a lot of work in the years since between Persona 4 and Persona 5 to modernize the game and all that, and that's why I'm often say that I would love to see Persona 4 be remade using the Persona 5 engine, because this game is certainly, I guess, aged in terms of how it looks. The narrative is still as on point as ever, the music's great, and the actual gameplay is fine. It's just Atlus has learnt a lot about making games in the years since in terms of making them visually appealing and stuff. So a lot of people, when you talk to people about Persona 4, the one thing that they'll constantly mention is that the dungeon crawling doesn't have the same impact that P5 does, and this is why. It is the weak point, I guess, of the overall game. Not the combat, just the actual crawling itself. But I seriously don't play Persona 4 for the gameplays. It's all about the narrative for me anyway, so. Okay, so we're having one of those kind of dummy battles which are just there to introduce how the combat works. It's not a proper fight. This will all be very familiar to anybody who's played a Shin Megami Tensei game or a Persona before. So all of that was deliberately mysterious, of course. Again, really setting up the narrative threads that you're going to work through as the game progresses on.
Breakfast ready. Good morning. Okay, let's eat. I can toast bread and cook sunny side up eggs in the morning. Dad can't cook, so I buy dinner. You're starting school today, right? My school's on the way, so let's go.
So responsible. Actually, it's not that uncommon for kids to be given a lot of responsibilities at quite a young age in Japan. They walk themselves to school, get themselves to school via public transport. They do help out with the shopping and chores and all that kind of stuff. There's a little bit of a different approach to parenting over there. This game is an extreme example of that, but yeah, it is reflective of, I guess, the experience as a child over in that country.
You keep going straight. My school's this way. Bye.
Okay, so we're off on our way to school where we'll get to meet more people, hopefully, make some friends. Yeah, I could imagine that Korea, I mean, they are different countries, but yeah, they would have similarities in how they bring up children and stuff, and yeah, they do. It is fascinating to see, you know, these little kids that in the West we would expect to be accompanied by parents everywhere, to be, you know, on the train reading their mangas and chatting in their school groups together on their way to and from school. It was something that was quite eye-opening for me the first time I went, because I'd only ever experienced the Australian system beforehand, where we do tend to coddle the kids quite significantly. Hello, Yogo Shun, welcome to the stream. And yes, it is great to see it on the PlayStation 4, on the PC. As mentioned, I haven't retired my Vita, but it's just a console that I don't play anymore because, as a critic, I have to do so much other stuff that I just don't get time to play legacy consoles, basically. It is nice to have Persona 4 on a device that I use daily, because I love this game and I've missed it. It's good to be able to play it again. I do agree that the old OLED Vita was the way to go with this game. It did look great on that console. But it does look good here. It does seem to me like they've sharpened up the visuals a little bit too to make it work on PC. It just seems a little bit sharper, the character models and stuff.
Talk about bad luck. The homeroom teacher
I would like
here
to
is
see
more
Persona
Oka,
4
isn't
on Switch as well, please, now that they've got it on PC. Having it on the Switch so I can play it on the go again would be good too.
Yeah, it's King Moron, all right. We get to enjoy his long-ass...
Hey, you guys, I heard there's going to be a transfer student from the city in this class.
Huh? Really? A guy or a girl?
A transfer student from the city. Just like you, huh? You look dead today.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
What's with him? Who knows?
All right, shut your traps. I'm Kinshiro Muraoka, your homeroom teacher from today forward. First things first, just 'cause it's spring doesn't mean you can swoon over each other like love-struck baboons.
This teacher is terrible. King Moron, as they call him, Mr. Maruka. He's the exaggeration of everything wrong with teachers. Persona has always had this history of I guess, reflecting the tension between adults and the youth. In Persona 5, that tension is made quite explicit in that the adults are pretty much the enemies each time around. They're the bad guys. This one's a little bit more subtle about that as well, in the sense that they're not outright villains. They're just antagonistic or pains in the neck, with the exception of the occasional one like Dojima or whatever. But yeah, this guy, King Moron, is certainly one of the problem adults in Persona 4.
Long as I'm around, you students are gonna be pure as the driven... Now, I hate wasting my time, but I'd better introduce this This sad sack's been thrown from the big city out to the middle of nowhere like yesterday's guy, and he's just as much of a loser here as he was there. So you girls better not get any ideas about hitting on him. Tell him your name, kid, and make it quick. What's that look you're giving that girl back there by the window? You thought I wouldn't notice? Now listen up! This town is miles away from your big city of perverts and assholes. You'd better not even think of getting involved with the girls here, let alone abusing
He has a weird
them.
obsession with the, the love lives of all of his students. I don't.
But what do
Yeah,
I know?
he's a creep.
It's not like
He's a
the
creep.
old days. Even here, kids grow up so damn. Every time I turn my back, you're fooling around on those damn phones, checking your life journals and your my place.
Excuse me, is it okay if the transfer student sits here?
Huh? Yeah, sure. You hear that? So hurry up and sit down.
He's the worst, huh? Rotten luck for you to get stuck in this class. Well, we just have to hang in there for our...
Sucks to be the transfer student, ending up in King Moron's class on...
Yeah, he won't think twice about suspending you if you get on his bad side. Then again, we're all in the same boat.
Shut your traps. I'm taking roll, and I damn well expect you to respond in an...
Your life at this new school has begun. There we go. So, we've got an introduction to some of the main characters. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the guy that had the biking accident at the start, as well as the short-haired girl and the red jumper one, are all important characters. That's why they all stand out. People who have played Persona 4 know who all those characters are, of course. But the game makes it pretty clear from the start that they're important. Everybody else is nice and neat in their uniforms and not really standing out.
That's all for today. Normal lectures will start tomorrow.
Attention all teachers. Please report immediately to the faculty office for a brief staff meeting. All students must return to their classrooms and are not to leave the school until further notice.
Ugh. You heard the announcement. Don't go anywhere until you...
He's seriously getting on my nerves.
Did something happen? Don't those sirens sound really close? I can't see a damn thing. Freaking fog.
Yeah, like every time it rains lately, it gets all foggy.
Hey, did you hear?
Oh yeah, you mean Mayumi Yamano, right?
Thanks for joining in, Nook, and thanks again for getting this stream working. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll be sure to watch back the rest of this thing when you get a chance. Otherwise, yeah, hopefully we'll see you next time around. We'll play this a little bit more, and yeah. Have a good evening. Or night.
I heard some guy spotted her at the shopping district.
Actually, I heard that.
Are you serious? Hey, Yukiko-san. Mind if I ask you something? Is it true that announcer's staying at your family's inn?
I can't discuss such things.
Yeah, I guess not.
Oh, sheesh. How much longer? There's no telling. I should have left before the announcement came on. By the way, did you try what I told you the other day? You know, that thing about rainy nights?
Oh. No, not yet. Sorry.
Aw, that's okay. It's just, I heard a guy in the class next door yell something like, "My soulmate is Yamano, the announcer."
Attention, all students. There has been an incident inside the school district. Police officers have been dispatched around the schools. Please stay calm and contact your parents or guardians as soon as possible and quickly leave the school ground. Do not disturb the police officers.
Pretty
Head
dramatic
directly
first day
home.
at school.
I repeat.
Have a police incident, have police running around all the place.
Incident?
Pretty dramatic start to the year.
What? Something actually happened?
Come on, let's go take a look. Hey, are you going home by... Why don't you come with us? Oh, nearly forgot. I'm Chie Satonaka. Well, nice to meet you.
So that's Chie, one of the group.
This is Yukiko
And
Amano.
then Yukiko.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm sorry that this is so sudden.
Yukiko's great, Chie's terrible. Just putting that out there right now. Now everybody who watches this stream is going to be mad at me, but I don't like Chie. There we go. I just said it.
Come on, don't apologize like that. It makes me look like I got no up. I just wanted to ask some stuff, really. That's all.
Miss Satonaka, this was really awesome. Like, the way they moved was just... And... I'm really sorry. It was an accident. Please just have mercy until... See ya. Thanks.
Stop right there. What did you do to my DVD?
Ah!
What the? I can't believe this! It's completely cracked!
Hello, welcome to the stream Get a Life podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my trial of the dragon!
I do feel sympathetic to Chie here. I've had people destroy my DVDs in the past as well, and you do want to hit them good and hard for that.
Are you alright?
Oh, Yukiko-san. Are you worried about me?
He's fine, Yukiko. Let's ditch him.
So already he's been in pain twice today alone. He's a bit of a whipping boy. He deserves it though. He's terrible, that guy. Couple of not so cool characters. The rest of them are all good.
You're Yuki, right? You want to go hang out somewhere?
What? Who are you?
What's up with him? What school's he from?
Never mind that. He's going for Yukiko-san? Man, you'd think he'd...
I bet you a can of taffy gets knocked out.
No bet. Haven't you heard how difficult the Amagi challenge is?
So, are you coming or not?
I'm not going.
Fine.
Strange student ED. What a weirdo.
What did he want from me?
Oh, that would have been a huge amount of work to put the Dancing All Night character models into the game. This was always going to be a port, I don't think. I mean, if they were going to do a complete remake, which is what you're suggesting would happen, they would have announced that way ago. A long, long time ago, they would have announced a full remake of the game. and it would have been a major release. This is just a PC port. So far I'm really digging this PC port. I think it's great. It looks good.
Obviously he was asking you out on a date.
I'm not having any issues with the thing crashing on me. So I think it's fine. It is Persona 4 on your PC.
Really? You really had no clue? Sheesh. But then again, that was way over the top. It was creepy.
Yo, Yukiko-san. Turned down another lovelorn fool, huh? Man, you're cruel. You got me the same way last year.
I think it's the same game. I get the sense that the character models have been cleared up just a little bit, the slightly higher resolution character models and environments. But other than that, I think it's pretty much the same game.
I don't recall doing that.
Oh, you serious? So then you want to hang out sometime?
I'd rather not.
That'll teach me to get my hopes up. Anyways, you two better not pick on the transfer student too much.
We're just curious is all.
I'm sorry for dragging you into this.
Come on, let's go. Everyone's staring.
Oh, you didn't get it? I got a press release from Sega this morning, from the US guys. I don't know if they announced it elsewhere. I haven't watched the rest of the event. I woke up this morning, saw the press release that Persona 4 Golden had been released on PC, downloaded it and started to stream it. So it's that's all I've done. I haven't even checked up on anything else just yet. So from all of that, we get the sense that Yukiko is rather popular with the boys. That's not surprising, really. She's the very traditional Japanese
so you
beauty.
came here because of your parents' job? I thought it was something way more serious. There really is nothing here, huh? That's what makes it nice. But there's nothing much we can show to people from outside. Though there is something from Mount Yasogami. I think our dyed clothes or pottery or something is kind of famous.
I think our dyed clothes or pottery or something is kind of famous. Yeah, that's a pretty big range of things that it could possibly be. I think I've said it in a stream somewhere in the past. One of the nice things about Japan is that every town has its specialty and it's famous across the country for something or other. It's the way that Japan as a society has evolved, that even the smallest towns have something that they've got particular pride in. That is a kind of joke on that. Chia not really knowing what a town's famous for. That's a pun at that tradition.
Oh, wait! And there's the Amagi Inn. Yukiko's family runs it.
Huh? It's just an old inn.
No way! It's been in all sorts of magazines as a hidden treasure. It's a great inn. It's been going for generations, and Yukiko here, their inn actually attracts a lot of visitors to Inaba.
I don't think that's entirely true.
So, tell me, you think Yukiko...
Just put that out there on my first day of school. That's, yeah, why not?
Oh, I knew it!
Come on, don't start this again.
The banter.
She's really popular at school, but she's never had a boyfriend. Kinda weird, huh?
I can't actually hear what I'm skipping, so I apologize to anybody that might be frustrated by that. I've turned the sound off because otherwise it'll get caught on the stream and it'll get all echoey and nonsense. So I've turned all of that off. I can only guess.
on, stop it.
There is also the Japanese voice option for people that would rather that. Persona 4 is one of the very few games that I prefer the English voices on. Mostly because of Laura Bailey as Rise, which we'll get to soon enough. But yeah, I do prefer the English voice actors for this one particular game.
You shouldn't
No,
believe
no,
her,
I don't
okay?
hate any of the characters
It's
except for
not true that I'm
Yosuke.
popular or that I've never had a boyfriend. Wait, no. What I meant to say was I don't need a boy. Jeez, GA.
I'm sorry. But this is our chance to talk to someone from the big city. And you barely said a word. Hey, what's that?
So that high schooler left school early, and as she came down this street...
No, you don't. No one, you can't hate Rise. Everybody loves Rise. She's the best. She's the best.
Wow, who could imagine that hanging?
I wanted to see it too.
Oh, you got here too late. The police and fire department took it down just a moment ago.
Well, I think it's terrifying. I can't believe a dead body showed up.
Wait, what did she just say? A dead...
Hey, what are you doing here?
First time I played Persona 4, I got through all of Yukiko's narrative arc, the optional conversation things. I really like Yukiko, and yeah, I went through the full list, the full sequence of the side stories, and ended up getting to the confession, and she, becomes your girlfriend and all that kind of stuff. And I did all of that before I'd actually met Rise. And of course, once I met Rise, I changed my mind completely and then started on that storyline as well. So the first time I played Persona 4 Golden, I kind of, I played the field a little bit and I ended up feeling quite bad because I was cheating on Yukiko with Rise, but...
Huh. I should have figured that'd happen. That damn principal. We told him not to let them through here.
You know this guy?
I'm Detective Dojima, his guardian. Well, how should I... But you three really ought to stop wandering around and head straight home.
With Persona 5, I was more, I guess, experienced, and I knew how things played out. But my story with Persona 5 is, of course, Anne's my girl in Persona 5, and I maxed out my relationship with her, like, really stupidly early, ridiculously early. And from that point, I didn't have much else to do in my off time. I felt, I kind of peaked in Persona 5 early, so the fact that it was like a 100-hour JRPG and I'd done all the stuff I really wanted to in the first 15 hours, I didn't pace myself well through that game. But I did have to get to know Anne as quickly as possible.
Adachi, how long are you going to act like a rookie? You want to be sent back to the central office?
Of the boys, we'll get to him soon as well, I guess. Of the boys, Kanji's my guy in Persona 4. He's great. Such a softie.
I'm sorry.
Go wash your face.
Was this what that announcement...
What do they mean it was hanging from the antenna?
Hey, Yukiko, why don't we go to...
Good idea.
then, we're taking off. Starting tomorrow, neighbor?
Okay, so crime scene, and here's the town. Now the game's starting to open up a little bit, but there's not much to do other than just go straight home, so I'll do that. But yeah, from now we have, I guess, a sense of what's going on. There was this mystery, there's a murder somewhere that's happening, some kind of crime anyway, and yeah, it's all starting to get very mysterious, especially since it's just the first day. I'm gonna have to listen back once I get off the stream. I'll start again and I'll play with the sound on so I can hear what's actually. I assume it is just the voice actor. The original. Oh, of course, they had different voice actors from the original Persona 4 to Persona 4 Golden. That's what you. That's the difference. That little bit of land there, that actually belongs to Dojima, so he's a very wealthy police detective to have some spare dirt. It doesn't seem like much, but by Japanese standards that's very decadent indeed. Head on inside. Becomes evening when you do so, so it becomes the end of the day. This game works on a calendar basis, kind of turn-based in the sense that each time you do actions, the time moves on. So you need to select which actions you want to do in order to see everything. There's always more things you can do than you can actually finish in a single game.
Our top story this evening concerns a bizarre case in a quiet suburb. Around noon today, a woman was found dead near the site.
So it made the news, as you probably expect, given it's a murder.
The deceased has been identified as Miss Mayumi
And
Yamada,
it is that
a 27-year-old
announcer
at
that
the
was
local television
engulfed
station.
in the scandal from the first night. You may remember from the news on the TV, it said that she was involved in some kind of scandal and she was staying at Yukiko's family inn, as we found out at school that day, and now it has been identified that she was the murder victim. So these are all too coincidental to be coincidence. And something's definitely going on here. Everybody's involved in some way, so straight away you're positioned right in the middle of all this town's little mysteries.
I know. That's his...
The body was found hanging from a large television antenna atop a local residence. Authorities are uncertain as to why the body was in such a state. With the cause of death also uncertain, police, a thick fog common to the area has slowed their progress and plans to fully canvass the area.
They found her on the roof? That... Oh, it's Junes.
It's scary, but the Junes theme will make Nanako feel good.
Every day.
Yes, yes, yes. Every day's great at your Junes, etc., etc.
I'm the best one in my class.
Okay, so we hit the save point. We'll do a save. That's a good place to stop for this first stream, I think, because otherwise, yeah, things progress and it'll be ages before we can save again, and I have to go and do other things now. It's Sunday and I'm meant to get stuff done. So I just want to thank everybody for being on the stream. It's been really exciting to be able to start playing Persona 4 again, and yeah, it's been great fun chatting with you all. Be sure to grab the game if you can. It's quite cheap. It's only about $30 on Steam right now, and it's about 13 gigabytes, just so you know if you're interested in how much space it'll take up on your hard drive. We will certainly be back to play this some more. Now that I'm playing it, I'm not going to stop. I'll probably play it again next week on Sunday, if not the JRPG stream on Saturday. I'm not quite sure where this fits in with my schedule, but I will find time for it. Have a great rest of the weekend, everybody, and we will see you next time.